Hey y'all, hey girl, hey mama, hey sister friend. Thanks for tuning in here with me. We are going to be talking about some books for preteen boys. So something great happened to me in my third year of homeschooling because we are homeschoolers, and that was that my middle son started reading chapter books all on his own. Hold on, y'all. Let me, because this is bothering me, so I gotta fix it. I'm just saying, I like to be fresh, so I'm giving y'all a little shoulder here today. Um, this just me. That's just me. But anyway, so we're homeschoolers, and my son started reading chapter books, and he started reading them all on his own. We did not have to pressure him or anything. So over the years, over the last 2 years since he started reading chapter books, we've amassed a lot of them, and we definitely have some favorites. And so I wanted to just come in and share with you all. If you don't know me, my name is Muffy Mendoza, and I blog at brownmamas.com, where I focus on making moms better moms so that dads can be better dads, children become better adults, and ultimately communities become better communities. So we've amassed a ton of chapter books because he loves them. And so, but there are definitely some favorites, some ones that I seen that he gravitated to really, really easily. Some ones that I seen that he kind of like read them just like really, really, really quick. So let's go ahead and start. The first set of chapter books that my son ever read, I actually scoured the internet to find these because at the time I was worried that he wasn't going to start reading chapter books. So I started looking for like books with African American characters that are adventurous because he loves adventure books. And the first set of books we found was these books called Ziggy and the Black Dinosaur. He absolutely loved this book, and it comes in a set of 6, I believe. This is the second one. And he absolutely loved these books. He ate them up. We got them on Amazon, and they're old books. You may be able to find them, and you may not, because since these books have come out, they actually renamed them Clubhouse Mysteries, and they added the little mixed/white kid on there. That's all right, because at first it was all black kids, as you can see, and they're all Caribbean children. So this was his first book that he really, really ate up, and my youngest son is now reading these books as well. So this is just a really good set of books, and like I said, it comes in a set of 6. Let me see if I'll pull the other ones for y'all. So these are some of the other ones. But yeah, get those ones. You'll love those ones. And like I said, I got them on Amazon. All these books, I got them on Amazon. And I will actually post a link to an article where you can go and get all of the books. You can either look in my bio if you're on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, it'll, of course, be in the comment above. The next one that he loved was this book called Public School Superhero. And this is crazy because I actually have this book from my oldest son. My oldest son, this was one of the chapter books that he read. And my son just went through our book collection and found it and started reading it, and he read it all the way through. I want to say he read this book in like 3 days. He really loved it. And the crazy thing was he did not remember that my husband had actually read them this book when they were like 4 and 5 years old. At bedtime, he read them a chapter every night. So this is another one. If you got a preteen boy, and of course I'm focusing on black boys, so all these books pretty much have black characters in them. All of these books that I'm showing you have black characters except for one. But this is another one that I like. Then the third one is The Stars Beneath Our Feet. And you see, this book has been run through so many times, we actually don't have the cover for it anymore. I have no idea where it's at. But it's called The Stars Beneath Our Feet. And this was another one that my son just kind of ran through. It does not have another like a sequence. It's not in a sequence of books. But I think your kid would really enjoy this book. It's basically about a little boy living in the inner city who loses his mother, I believe. And I think he's being raised by his father. And he lost his father. He's being raised by his mother. And it's about all the things he goes through just trying to keep his head above water as he makes his way through life in the inner city of Harlem. Let me give you a brief synopsis. Public School Superhero is basically about this kid who kind of gets bullied. He's a regular kid, and he makes up this superhero in his head. And this is a really good one, too. And then, like I said, these Ziggy and the Black Dinosaur, or Clubhouse Mysteries as it's now called, is pretty much about a group of kids that goes on all of these exciting adventures and solving not crimes, but puzzles and finding treasure and all those great things that preteen boys tend to like. And then the other one is not a chapter book, but we just love this book in our house. It's called Dr. Joe and What You Didn't Know. I actually started this book with my oldest son, who is now 17. And it just has all of these interesting facts in it. Like, why does a Swiss Army watch glow in the dark only sometimes? What interest do scientists who study volcanoes and those who study winemaking share? So this is really a science book without telling your kid that it's a science book. It has all of these interesting facts in it and explains it from a scientific perspective, but in a way that children can understand. And this is actually not a kid book. It is an adult book. But we found it as a part of one of the curriculums that we use for science, and it just resonates with us. Sometimes I'll just go in here and find a fact and have the boys read it just so that their minds can be filled with information that they can give context to later. And then the last one that I have, and I might pick a couple of more out here. The last one that I have is this book, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. As if right now, this video I know is going to be on here for a long time, but right now it is 2019, and there is actually a show on Netflix for The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. So my middle son started reading this book and didn't finish. So we're actually going to reignite and go ahead and finish the book with the Netflix series or with the Netflix movie. So we're just going to watch it a little bit at a time and read a chapter at a time. So I'm going to be doing that with my 9-year-old and my 10-year-old. So this is another one that we love. Let me just see what else we got, because we have a lot. And some of these they have read and some of them they haven't. Oh, this one my kids really like. It's called Fight or Flight, the Falcon, who is a superhero. All of these Marvel books, like, I highly recommend them, especially if you have middle-aged boys or preteen boys who are not reading chapter books yet. Like, before my sons really started reading chapter books, they wouldn't read like these type of books, like The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind or Ziggy and the Black Dinosaurs, but they would read all of these superhero books. So I highly recommend that if you're having an issue. And as you can see, it's big print. So what I like about these books for kids who are just starting to read, whereas with like Ziggy and the Black Dinosaurs, this looks intimidating to a kid. Like, you need to know that. If you're homeschooling or even if your kids are in school, this looks intimidating to a kid who's never read chapter books. This does not, because there are pictures and there are, there are things that are not happening in that book. It's not totally left to the imagination. And if your child is still struggling reading silently, or if they are just struggling with reading, period, this is a really good place to start them instead of trying to force them into. And let me just tell you about boys. I've learned over the years homeschooling my boys that boys read later than girls, and you have to be okay with that. Like, my youngest son, he knew how to read since he's been like 5 or 6. Well, let me not say he knew how to read. He knew how to read sight words. He knew how to read sentences. Somebody sent me a message. He knew how to read sentences, but he was not interested in reading chapter books. He just was not interested. He likes a lot of nonfiction also. But by the time he turned about 8 or 9, he started reading on his own. Like, there was no prompting that was necessary. And the same thing happened with my middle son. He just started reading when he was ready. So if you have male children, please understand that they may not be reading on the same trajectory as the schools a lot of times tell you, because boys it's not about developmentally delayed. It's just about them being different. They're masculine energy. They're not feminine energy. So they are different than their female counterparts. So please not counterparts. I don't like that word, but they're female peers. So just make sure that if you have male children and you think it's time for them to read chapter books and they haven't started yet, it's okay. Like my middle son, even once he started reading the chapter books when he was about 8, now he's 10 and he's an avid reader. Like, he'll go after dinner and just go read his book, or if we're having downtime, he'll just get his books and go in a corner and start reading. You got to be patient with them. You've got to give them time to adjust, and also time to want to do it, because let me tell you, when a child wants to read, it is so much better than when you force them to read. And because they're going to pick up subjects and find things on their own. Like, once he started reading Ziggy and the Black Dinosaurs, he completely went and found these on his own. Like, he was the one that was like, Mom, we got to order the next one. Right now, he's into Diary of a Minecraft Zombie. He prompts me, like, we went to the library yesterday so that he could order his book. So just don't rush him. Be patient. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Muffy Mendoza. I blog at brownmamas.com, where I focus on making moms better moms so that dads can be better dads, children become better adults, and ultimately communities become better communities. Thank you, y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.